All right, here we go. We're going to look at these kind of Siamese trees. You can see this split all the way down here, and it is two separate trees, and they're laying right up tight to each other, and can't really just treat them as one tree because if you put the notch in one and start back cutting the other, you'd end up with a total disaster. So what I'm doing is just trying to look this thing over and try to figure out my best spots to work, and give everybody a chance to get out of the way there, and just kind of get a good idea of what's happening and look at it and see what we need to do. So you can see here in a moment we're going to notch this pretty high, and this side is off to the side of the other one. You'll see it at the end of the video. So I'm going to be working this tree a little weird. I'm going to try to My escape path is going to be on the other side of this tree because I want to keep that bigger tree that's below it between me and it when it comes time to separate out. So we'll go ahead and get started here.
Okay, I'm going to try to get these two down before it gets, well, this rest of these before it gets dark.
Okay, so at this point I kind of changed my mind. I mentioned earlier I was going to be going escape path on that other side, and at that point I hadn't decided to do that. I was still going to come uphill. That's technically downhill and not a direction I typically go, but where that other tree was going to end up being between us, I wanted to be downhill rather than uphill or something, by having the tree protect us. So I'm just taking a moment here and cutting these green briars out of the way. Getting all wadded up in them here, but you don't want to try to run through a patch of briars. It's very tough when you're trying to get out of the way and hurry. So I'm just taking a minute here and getting my other plan in place, getting where I can go downhill off to this other side. And so when I get this done, then you'll be trying to get everything finished up, and I'll wrap up our cut here for our back cut. What I do want to talk about though is some of the loads on this tree. This tree, where I'm cutting it, it's a whole lot different than a tree that's just bent over and leaning towards the field. Now it has that look right here, but what we need to notice is that stem is pushing straight down onto that elbow. It's not trying to fold the tree out. Now where I'm cutting, it's going to be having that effect, but if we just remove the support for this tree, it would fall straight to the ground and then fall over. Whereas if we had one that just had a big arch leaning out over an open field, it's going to want to gator mouth really bad. If we removed the weight, the support for that tree, it would want to fall over sideways and hit the ground. So this one again, took this crooked part out of it. It would want to fall straight, then bend over. So I'm kind of treating this a little differently, and you'll see here in a moment. This is definitely the kind of tree, just like the other style, where if it was just leaning out in a field, you would definitely not want to put a notch in it, set up a hinge, and then try to race toward the hinge from the back. Because what will happen, that tree will split. They're called a gator mouth or a barber chair. It is a very violent action that happens on that tree, and it happens really fast. And you don't want to be opposite the tree. Now the camera doesn't show really well, but I am still not opposite that tree. I am downhill from it off to the side when I'm cutting these cuts in it for release cuts. So I just want to make sure that's out there. Now, this is the style cut we definitely want to use in one that has a lot of side lean, because if you just start trying to again race to the middle, the second that those pulling, the fiber that's under tension being pulled out on the outer part of that stem, whenever that's released, it will split wide open, and a lot of times that tree will come back at you. So we're trying to make sure that we don't see that happen. So what, again, I'm going to be off to the side. I'm not going to be straight out from it when I do this cutting. And you'll see me take, again, another reason I love this long bar. I can get away from it. You know, sometimes another foot or so is a nice. And what I'm doing here, I'm just making sure right now I've got everything out of my way. I don't want to have anything slowing me down. Now I'm off the angle, and I'm cutting angled release cuts in this. A couple reasons I don't want that thing scooting out on me, and I can't get on that upper side where I need to be to make a straight release cut, and I can't get on the lower side and still reach it. So that's why I'm up here doing this in this style, and you'll see it. I'll bring the camera down. Let's see what that looks like when we're done. So in a moment you're going to see me turn the saw off, because I want to listen. I want to listen for anything popping or pulling in there. And when I don't hear anything, I want to go back and use in there cuts. All right, so here we are. I want to show you a little bit, grab the camera and walk you down there. But again, this is a very, very tricky tree. You want to be very, very careful when working around trees like this. This is a super dangerous one. But you can see how we've got this middle cut out, so that whenever the tree is released, it's not splintering out and opening up, gaping and splitting, gator mouthing, barber chairing, all these things. And you can see how this holding wood on the back, I hit it at 45 so that I was out of the way. I wasn't anywhere close to this. I was off to the side the whole time, being protected by the angle and away from this tree. So anyway, you kind of see that. And anyway, hopefully that'll be helpful. Another option to get rid of a tricky tree.